because was streaming. Okay. Oh God. All right. Well, let's start over, shall we? For everybody, I already did the intro to the podcast, but on YouTube you missed it, so I apologize. Man, apparently I haven't scheduled a stream on YouTube before, so this is a little different. But let me check my audio levels here really quick, and then give me a second. Okay. Yep. All right. Audio's good. I apologize last week. I'll get into that in a second. For the Rumble viewers, you've been watching already, and you've been seeing all my technical f-ups. YouTube, you're here. Apparently, I had to hit multiple buttons to go live. Normally, I just hit one button and boom, I'm streaming. So it's a little different. But anyway, let me try this again. This is your main event, Mark's Podcast. I am your host, lifelong wrestling fan, former radio guy, cat and dog dad, and I am Mr. Pesos in the Bank. I am Troy. And there was a lot of wrestling over the weekend for you to sink your teeth into. There was AAA x NXT Worlds Collide. They said it was a continuation of When Worlds Collide from 1994. I'm assuming there was a trademark thing there, why they dropped the when from the beginning of the name. Now, that was a very fun event, very first Lucha event I've seen in years at this point. I stopped watching Lucha a while ago. I would only catch it once in a blue moon back in the day, but yeah, it was a very good show that I'm eager to talk about. I also watched Money in the Bank that same night. I watched it live at a buddy's house and took notes and had a good time. Ate chicken wings, drank pop or soda, whatever the hell you guys want to call it, depending on where around the country or the world you are. Yeah, good times had by all. But how you all doing out there today? Sorry for the technical difficulties to start the stream, but here we are. Speaking of technical difficulties, if you listened last week, that was the worst audio I have ever had on this on this show, and I apologize. I did not check it. I did not realize that I was super overmodulated from the beginning. So if any of you, even if you didn't watch the show, I cut out some shorts, which I usually do from the show, and I posted them separately. They were bad. The audio, it just, I all the way around, not good. But I've been immersing myself in wrestling for the past couple of days. I am very far behind on Dark Side of the Ring. I've been catching up on Season 6. Just started watching that yesterday. I'm already, I think, halfway through. Just watched the Eddie Gilbert episode. That's a preview. I'm going to talk about that at the end of the show. It's a preview for next week's show. It's going to involve Dark Side of the Ring. And also, I'm going to review another movie. If you remember, about a month ago, I finally sat down and watched The Iron Claw, and I reviewed that along with talking about some Dark Side of the Ring episodes. I'm going to do something similar with a new movie based on professional wrestling, classic wrestling. And I've seen a little bit of buzz for the movie I'm going to talk about, specifically in AEW because Tony Storm is involved. But all in all, haven't seen a ton of a buzz, you know what I mean? So I'm going to talk about it and get the word out there to whoever wants to listen. It's going to be a different show where I'm not actually reviewing an event. So to make up for it, I'm reviewing 2 events today, and there's a lot of news to get to. So let's just dive headfirst into it, shall we? I did not watch Raw, but I saw clips of it. I saw what happened with certain people. So that first story is in the news here. We're going to the Wrestling Observer for all of these, by the way. Uncle Dave's newsletter and nephew Brian. WWE President Nick Khan played a key role in bringing R-Truth back to WWE after initially being told he wouldn't return, sparking fan backlash and wrestler support. After Truth ignored early WWE outreach, Khan personally negotiated a new contract with both sides, compromising. Truth made a surprise Money in the Bank appearance, attacking John Cena, which we'll talk about, obviously, on the event review. and helping Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso secure a win. New merchandise followed, and before the deal, Truth was already receiving offers from other promotions. That part I don't doubt. He's not young, but he's in great shape. He still looks great. He's got a lot to teach. He's got a lot to offer. So I am not surprised, or I would be extremely surprised if AEW didn't offer him a contract right out the gate. That being said, I don't know how much I believe as far as all of this. Like, was it a work? Was it real? Who knows? Because everybody, like WWE is like, this was, they're not coming right out and saying, they're basically saying, oh, it was a plan from the beginning, but they're not quite saying, they won't say if it's a work or not, which, cool. You don't have to do that, and you probably shouldn't do all of that. But, like, the fans are taking credit for, oh my God, we chanted for him once, and he came back. Oh, we made some tweets about our Truth, and now he's back. Hi, Duck, in the in the chat, by the way. But yeah, so I don't know who to believe, if it's a work, if the fans brought him back, whatever, For Matt Hardy, they chanted for like a month before they brought him back, something like that. I was actually full on watching at that time, like consistently. I was young. When the hell was that? Early 2000s. But yeah, I was actually watching consistently during that time and remember all of that stuff. But the R-Truth thing, he got released and then brought back like that weekend? So I don't know. Anyway. Former AEW star Mariah May has rebranded herself as Blake Monroe in WWE NXT, debuting with a glamorous old Hollywood-style video. So she's doing like a Toni Storm type gimmick. They're going to make her their version of Toni Storm? Okay. The Monroe makes sense then for the last name. After her feud-ending loss to Toni Storm at AEW Revolution, rumors swirled about her departure, which was confirmed when AEW removed her from their roster. Now aiming for the NXT Women's Championship, Monroe declares that NXT just got more glamorous. Cool. So Blake Monroe is her name. There were some people like having a fit. Oh my God, they changed her name. It's so terrible. Blake Monroe is a fine name. Don't act like Mariah May was like an amazing name. She sounds like a side character from Marvel Comics. Because Stan Lee loved alliteration, like Peter Parker and people like that. So Bruce Banner. So this was like that. She sounded like she was just a side character from Spider-Man comics or something like that. But no, she's Blake Monroe now. Cool. It's a fine name. I don't see anything wrong with it. The people on Twitter are going to cry about literally anything. So, she's got a bright future ahead of her. Like I said last week on the podcast, even though I was super overmodulated, they have made an investment in her. If she goes like the Toni Storm wannabe route, where like she's doing the timeless kind of gimmick, that's kind of crap. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Although, I don't know, WWE could be doing their version of it, where I said I like Toni's gimmick. I think she's super cringy. Not as cringy as someone like Nikita Lyons, who's just off the charts cringe. But I think she's cringy because all of Toni's promos come down to talk about your body parts and make sexual innuendos and then, act weird. I don't know, like, and curse a lot. I don't like it either way. Speaking of AAA Worlds Collide, though, Corey Graves had a revitalizing experience calling the WWE and Lucha Libre AAA Worlds Collide event when he teamed with Conan on English commentary to help introduce AAA talent to WWE fans. The show, held in Los Angeles and streamed for free on YouTube, marked the first official collaboration between the promotions since WWE announced its acquisition of AAA. Corey Graves expressed gratitude for being welcomed into the world of Lucha Libre and said the experience reignited his passion during a difficult time. Konnan also praised Graves for his professionalism and cultural respect, calling him an ideal commentary partner and a new friend. Yeah, he did fine on, for play-by-play. I didn't see anything wrong with it. He did a decent job. Him and Konnan talked over each other a little bit. I feel like Conan's mic needed to be turned up a bit. But other than that, they did a decent job together. Corey clearly knows his stuff. It was pretty apparent, and Konnan added a lot of historical stuff in there for the wrestlers in the ring. And yeah, Corey's got the experience. Conan's done commentary before, so he was good at it. It wasn't the WCW Konnan, luckily, where he's just like throwing out like insults and sexual innuendos and stuff like that, which was funny at the time, I'll admit. But this was like a much more serious Konnan. Konnan seemed like, oh my God, this is great. I love to be here. I'm finally seeing Konnan on WWE programming, by the way, live and in living color, was awesome. Yeah, you could say it's AAA, whatever, but it's a WWE produced event. It was good. I appreciated Konnan being there. He added a lot to it. Corey Graves was great. You could tell he was marking out the whole time, but not in like an over-the-top, cringy way, like someone like Excrement in AEW. Or even though I like the guy, Matt Stryker got a little marky sometimes. So this was really good. I like the commentary. And yeah, I heard it's been a rumor for a while. Corey has not been extremely happy with being sent down to NXT when he was on Raw, right? And he basically got demoted to NXT, which kind of sucks for him. But good to see he's having a good time again. Zoe Starks is recovering after undergoing surgery on her ACL, MCL, and meniscus following a knee injury sustained during a match on the May 19th episode of Raw, which we've talked about on previous podcasts. The procedure, originally scheduled for 2 hours, took 3.5, but Stark appeared post-surgery in good spirits, giving a thumbs up. The injury occurred when she awkwardly landed from a missile dropkick during a triple threat match. We covered that. This marks Stark's second major knee surgery, the first happening during her NXT run in 2021. A teaser at the end of her video hints at an update coming June 16th. If she had ACL, MCL, and meniscus surgery, that's she's not going to be back anytime soon. She said originally, when she gave her first update, she said, I'm going to be back, and it's going to be a while. I believe that. It's going to be a while, and it sucks. Zoe Stark is great. I don't think, and I've said this before, she's not like a main event talent in my opinion, but she's really good, and I think she could be a contender for that Intercontinental title eventually. I'm going to talk about the women's Intercontinental title and the state of it once we get into Money in the Bank, but yeah, she did good. Two that, and hopefully she comes back and she's in fine condition and she can go again at a high level. But man, you injure them knees, man. Sometimes you come back, it takes a while, but sometimes you come back fine and you learn to work around it. Like Chris Sabin, man, I think he tore his ACL or something like that. He tore something in one knee and he was out for like a year, and then he comes back first night, tears it in the other knee, and he's gone for another freaking year. But he came back since then. As far as I know, he's been relatively healthy in his knees. He did good. So he do good. And sometimes it's just over and over and over. And we're going to talk about somebody who dealt with similar issues here in just a second. But first, someone who's not. I guess she is doing good outside of WWE. I feel good for her. Shotzi spoke candidly on the Ariel Helwani show about her bittersweet return to the independent scene after her WWE release. Following surprise appearances at Hood Slam and GCW, yikes, she reflected on regaining her confidence with fewer creative restrictions. Shotzi, who missed much of 2024 due to an ACL injury, revealed she had suspected her WWE contract wouldn't be renewed and admitted it hurt her confidence to be sidelined, though she holds no ill will towards WWE and would return if used. She expressed strong interest in AEW due to its creative freedom and how well Tony Khan treats talent. She has several indie bookings lined up through the summer. Good for her. I do think AEW would be a better fit for her, just given her gimmick and the fact that AEW loves cringy women. She is very cringeworthy. I never liked. Shotzi was fine in the ring. Like, she's a good wrestler. I'm not gonna say she sucked or anything, but man, she was pretty cringy with her gimmick most of the time, and riding that stupid freaking tank to the ring. That was. Some people liked it. I thought it was really dumb, but AEW might be the way to go for her. So Tony Khan, give her a contract, bring her in. Let her be as weird as she wants to be. She can also participate. I feel like she would participate in the hardcore women's stuff they got going on in AEW. They love putting the women in like street fights, hardcore matches, and alike. So I feel like she would fit right in with all of that in AEW. So we'll see how it goes. She also said something about somebody commented about how she's appearing at places like Hood Slam and GCW or whatever, and they were like, dude, you were just in WWE making a ton of money, now you're doing this. And she said, actually, I'm making more doing this than I was in WWE. Well, yeah, I mean, WWE clearly didn't value her. They didn't really do much with her. I don't know why she was around as long as she was. I feel like she was always on the bubble from the time she was in NXT. But I don't know. Either way. Someone who's not doing so fantastic outside of WWE and also had knee issues. Since her WWE release in November 2024, Nixon Newell, formerly Tegan Knox, has struggled to gain momentum in free agency, facing a lack of bookings despite her enthusiasm to wrestle again. Though she's had a few matches, including a meaningful return to Wales with Attack Pro Wrestling, Newell admits the transition has been difficult and slower than expected. She hopes to shed the injury-prone label and prove herself, emphasizing that her knees haven't caused issues since 2019. While she would love to join AEW or return to Japan's Stardom, she currently sees little interest from AEW, but remains determined to revive her career on her own terms. That kind of sucks because she does have the shiniest wizard, and she looks great. She's a great wrestler, and I don't know. I feel like she'd be right up AEW's alley as well. But yeah, maybe Tony Khan. I was gonna say maybe Tony Khan does see her as injury prone, but then again, that hasn't stopped him before. Look at we talked about when we reviewed Double or Nothing. I was like, dude, look at half the roster are people who were considered injury prone and couldn't stay healthy in WWE to save their lives. Now they're taking up the AEW roster. Either they were injury prone or they were people that, WWE was like, we'll never put you in the ring again because you've had such devastating injuries. We're not going to be responsible for you being a cripple. You know what I mean? Adam Copeland, Cope, whatever the hell you want to call him. I guess WWE did let him back in the ring. He healed up. But Bryan Danielson, Samoa Joe, people like that. So, and I'm sure there are others, too, that I can't think of off the... Saraya, Paige, whatever. Either way. But getting to outside of WWE, kind of. They do own the company, but either way. Lucha Libre AAA finalized the card for this weekend's Triple Mania Regia with 2 major title matches added. Is it Regia? I'm going to go with Regia. El Hijo del Vikingo will defend his AAA Mega Championship in a rematch against Alberto El Patron, while Moose puts his TNA X Division title on the line in a 4-way match. The press conference featured an angle with El Patron attacking Vikingo. As AAA nears a WWE acquisition, it's unclear if El Patron will be a part of any crossover. The event airs in Mexico on Max and Space. I don't know what Space is. Max is obviously the future HBO Max. They renamed it to Max a while ago. And that's what, oddly enough, that's what they air AEW on, like reruns, whatever. But yeah, man, this Alberto has been the biggest question mark since they bought AAA, or are in the process of buying AAA, whatever. Are they going to keep them around? What the hell are they going to do with them? The fact that they put the belt on Vikingo like right away shows they have no plans on doing anything with Alberto. I can't say they're wrong for that. He has caused nothing but issues everywhere he's been since WWE. So, and it sucks because he looks great. I thought he was a great wrestler. He can cut a good promo, but man, he's his own worst enemy. But him versus Vikingo, round 3, I think this is, in the last year? Cool, whatever. I'll most likely watch the event because this is the first Triple Mania with under the WWE banner, and I've seen the AEW marks or just the WWE haters in the IWC talking about, I can't wait for Triple Mania to happen so that WWE can see why people have been trash talking AAA for years. They're gonna have production errors and they're gonna suck and whatever. Guaranteed WWE is going to make sure that show goes off without a hitch. It's not going to be the AAA of old. I'm telling you that right freaking now. There's zero chance. I don't know if anybody remembers. There's 2 types of AAA. There's AAA when Conan was basically running things, and then there was AAA when Vampiro was basically running things. You could tell, due to the massive amount of errors, who was running what. And let's just say the guy who had the fewer F-ups is currently sitting, like he was sitting on commentary for Worlds Collide. Vampiro, he's cool and all, but he does not need to be anywhere near production. He does not need to be anywhere near the booking, nothing. Keep Vampiro away. That's all I'm going to say. Maybe he can make he can come in and do his annual run-in just to get a pop and then leave, do something with Conan. Either way. The NWA, oddly enough, has announced a major new streaming partnership with the Roku channel, making it the official home for NWA Power. You got to say it like that because it's 3 R's. In the United States, Canada, and Mexico, starting July 29th. New episodes will air for free every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and which would be 5 p.m. Narnia time out on the West Coast, marking the promotion's most significant first-run TV deal in over 25 years. NWA President Billy Corgan celebrated the move as a proud milestone for the historic brand, while Roku Media expressed excitement about bringing NWA content to millions of viewers. The Roku channel is accessible via its app and website, not just through Roku devices. Cool for them. Let's just hope they don't have somebody snorting any substances again on camera. There was a big deal. I can't remember. It escapes my memory now. They had a TV deal signed, ready to go, and then they had a big pay-per-view, and, big by their standards, because the NWA is microscopic now. But anyway, they had a big pay-per-view by their standards, and they had James Mitchell out there with his long fingernails scooping up a certain kind of... Obviously, it wasn't real, but, just faking it even. Scooping up something and snorting it. I'll let you all figure it out. You should all be adults and know what I'm talking about. And the TV network saw that and was like, nah. No, thank you. And they canceled the deal. And they couldn't help themselves. They had to be a backwoods indie mud show, outlaw show, and they ruined it. So they ruined their own freaking they ruined their own freaking momentum. Oh man, off topic. I just saw breaking news. Brian Wilson, founding member of the Beach Boys, just died at the age of 82. Damn, that sucks. The Love and Mercy, that movie. It was like a biopic about him. It's a really good film. I will say they got John Cusack to play an adult version of him. It looks absolutely nothing like Brian Wilson, but it was still a good film. I enjoyed it. Did not know a lot of that stuff about the Beach Boys and Brian specifically. Moving on to TNA. Speaking of people working with WWE, Ace Austin expressed gratitude to TNA as he enters free agency, calling it his first home after 6 successful years with the promotion. He thanked TNA for the opportunities and memories, highlighting his multiple tag team and X Division title reigns, and left the door open for a possible return. Austin's departure was announced amicably by Scott D'Amore, with his final match taped in May. Couple of things about this. I don't know why he's leaving. Maybe it's maybe he has to leave at a certain time before his contract opens up if he's going elsewhere. Like, I'm assuming it wouldn't be WWE because he wouldn't have to do all this. But maybe he's going to AEW. Maybe he's going to Japan. I'm going to have to put the pod on a pause here real quick. I apologize to everybody. Give me just a moment here.
Face it, your life is a complete mess right now. The laundry's not folded, you haven't exercised in weeks, you're spending way too much money going out, and your doom scrolling habit is back. What you need is a GYST week. That stands for
I'm reviewing 1994's AAA WCW crossover event, When Worlds Collide. In the news of the time, I'm covering Halloween Havoc 1994 fallout, rumors over Hulk Hogan's contract negotiations, WCW getting sued, all over the place for various things, working relationships with Mexican Lucha Libre promotions, wrestling getting super hot in Japan, and I'll touch a little bit on the big WWE releases and signings of today, that and much more on the podcast.
This is the main event.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the main event Marks podcast, live yet again. As you can see, the set behind me is only somewhat improved. Not really. I just put a box up with a toy on it. But it's the best we could do right now, you know what I'm saying? But the show itself will be good. The set, not so much. I'll work on that more in the future. I am still moving into my house. It's been like 3 weeks, 2 weeks, something like that. My cat does not like when I talk above a whisper. She attacks me and my wife whenever we get too loud. Anyway, let's get into the actual intro for the show here and get into it, shall we? This is the main event Marks podcast. I am your host, lifelong wrestling fan, former radio guy, cat and dog dad, and Mexico had me deported back to America. I am Troy. And ladies and gentlemen, I am live today on 3 different sources. I'm actually live on, as far as I know, I am live on Facebook. Yeah, the book face. What's up, everybody? How's it going? I have to get, let's see, the link for today's show. That's always fun. But yeah, I am live on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook. I'm all over the place. I'm not on Twitch or Kick. I think I saw something before I went live about Twitch might be getting sued or is getting sued. I don't know. I'm assuming it has something to do with Hassan and various, propaganda that gets spread around on there that they refuse to take care of. But, there are other things that you can definitely get banned for, different words, but playing certain propaganda is perfectly fine. Let's see, unsent. There we go. All right, I knew I did something right along the way. Oh man, how's everybody doing out there today? Some of this is going to be cut for the audio, obviously, but how's everybody doing? I was going to go live yesterday, but I was very ill prepared, and I just didn't feel good. I was like, I have a splitting migraine. There's no way I can have any energy whatsoever to go live on a podcast. So, but we're here today, and we're going to be talking about When Worlds Collide, because Worlds Collide, the new one, is coming up this Saturday. It's NXT and AAA, I believe, or is it all of WWE and AAA? I am not sure. I was pretty sure it was NXT, right? Am I right in thinking that? Let me know in the comments, because I've only been like mildly paying attention. While we're talking about that, I'll get to the current stuff now. I did a video on this, but you see, they released R-Truth, man. R-Truth, who has been there for 58 and a half years, and they got rid of Carlito, who he joked, he's like, they asked for their money back. Apparently I've been stealing their money. So, which is funny because there's an old joke. I can't remember who said, might have been, it was either Bruce Pritchard or Jim Cornette, one of them, whatever, was talking about back in the day. I can't remember who Ernie Ladd would tell King Kong Bundy. He's like, every time you lace up your boots and you go in the ring, you're stealing money, Bundy. Every time you cash a check, you're stealing money. Basically saying he didn't do anything and he didn't deserve his paycheck. But yeah. So Carlito, obviously better than King Kong Bundy. Not as big of a star, though. But yeah, he hasn't really done anything other than sit in catering and, collect a paycheck for a while now. He comes out and he'll come out during run-ins. He does backstage segments, but come on, man, you're a pro wrestler. Apparently, he's the Puerto Rican champion again in WWC, which is his father's promotion. Carlos Colon owns it in Puerto Rico. He's been champion like 500 times, I guess. He's been Puerto Rican champion, I believe, as many times as R-Truth has been the 24/7 champion. There goes my camera again. Maybe I'll fix it. There we go. All right. But yeah, anyway. So that's going on. But they've also signed Mariah May from AEW, which I know everybody kind of knew it was coming. I didn't expect her to show up on a random NXT. And what makes me laugh is every time this happens, like with Ricky Saints and with Mariah May, and whoever else, like these AEW nerds will freak out. Oh my God, they were wrestling in front of 10,000 people. Now they're at NXT. Like, oh my God, like it's a huge downgrade. Like, you go to NXT to get some polish before you go up to the main roster, right? And they'll always throw out people like, time to be alive. I will argue some people like Samoa Joe didn't belong down there. Shinsuke, I think, stayed too long down there. And like AJ Styles skipped right over. But then you see, like, AJ didn't need it. He's been in the business for 500 years, and he was in WCW back in the day for a hot minute. He was in TNA forever. He didn't need it. He was aging anyway, so he was good enough. He adapted on the fly. He was great. No, there was no translation issues going on there between his style and WWE. He caught on extremely quickly. So, but then you see ones like Sin Cara. They just shipped him right up to the main roster, threw him on SmackDown, and he crashed and burned. I would argue no amount of time in NXT would have helped him, but, whatever. Bobby Roode, I think, was down there more or less to kind of get a hold of, like, what are you going to be in WWE? We need to shape you into something for WWE. And then he got over big with the glorious gimmick. They brought him up to the main roster, and Vince crapped on him. Like, we got nothing for you, Bobby. Even though, you're an amazing wrestler. You're built like a Greek god. You look like an effing man. Your entrance is super over. We can merchandise you and whatever. I just don't know what to do with you, man. You're great in the ring. God, I don't know. Maybe throw you on the main event. That one kind of pissed me off. That did piss me off. I was a huge Bobby Roode fan in TNA, and he just effed off in WWE. It was ridiculous. I realized he was kind of old at that, like older at that point, but he still had some gas in the tank, man. So either way. Samoa Joe too. I don't know what, like, he went to, and he's always like, had injuries here and there, but man, he was injury prone in WWE and NXT. I don't, like, constantly getting hurt and like big time hurt. So, and then they made him a commentator like Taz. Now he's in AEW tearing it up. So, I mean, some people just don't fit in the WWE system, but regardless, I'm saying all that to get back to my point here. This one person with a Kenny Omega avatar or, profile pic, of course, tweeted something about, Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné are about to have this is ridiculous to say this, but they're about to have the biggest match in women's wrestling history. God, in front of 30,000 people, and Mariah May is wrestling in front of a small crowd at NXT. Like, okay, first of all, people pointed out they're like 30,000, probably not. Second of all, even if it is 30,000, the arena they're going to be in for All In, it holds 40,000, so you're not exactly packing them out to the rafters. Second of all, good grief, get off Mercedes Moné and Tony Storm's junk, okay? They're good, but the biggest match in women's wrestling history, I need you to explain to me how. In what metric are you using? And don't use some arbitrary star rating system for a match that hasn't happened yet, okay? I need, like, real figures and numbers here. Give me a reason why, not just, oh my god, AEW. The other thing is this is an investment in Mariah May. She's how old? Let's see if I can find her age here. Mariah May age. 26. She is 26 years of age. She has, God willing, she has a very long career ahead of her. She could wrestle for another 15 to 20 years, you know, depending on how often she wrestles and, you know, whatever else. She doesn't exactly have a high-impact style, you know what I mean? But she's good now. They're going to polish her, introduce people to her, because I hate to tell AEW people this. Most WWE fans don't know a damn thing about AEW. It's like I try to it's tried to be explained about Rumble and YouTube, because some people will say, I don't want to multi-stream, or I don't want to post stuff on. Check. All right, I am very sorry about that. Got a very important phone call I had to answer. Very, very sorry. I'm sure that was just super entertaining for everybody to watch. I know last week's episode for a little bit. Let me adjust my camera back. There we go. Messes with the light. Gonna have to do some hardcore editing. This is a good time to let everybody know. I am going live right now, but I post everything in audio form after the fact. So I will post this show. It will be everywhere that you hear podcasts, and it's more edited just for the sake of audio. So if you just want to wait, if you don't want to watch the VOD afterwards, that's fine. Like I said, it's in audio form wherever. So my goodness. Speaking of which, I have a couple other very important phone calls. If you don't mind, I am going to do this here really quickly. Let me check on something. Okay. Let's get back into this while we can. All right. Anyway, I was talking about Ace Austin last, but I think I wrapped that up. Either way, I think he'd most likely he's going to AEW, but maybe he's just touring the indies. I know some people just love making a living off of the indies. I keep wanting to call him Zack Ryder. Matt Cardona has done that. He does clearly want to come back to WWE, but he's also clearly made a good living for himself, working however much he wants, how little he wants on the indies for years at this point. So cool. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of AEW, Warner Bros. Discovery will split into two publicly traded companies by mid-2026. Oh, yeah. Who could have foreseen that coming? Global networks, including TBS, TNT, Discovery, and Bleacher Report, led by CFO Gunnar Weidenfels, and streaming and studios, including HBO, DC Studios, and the soon-to-be renamed Max, led by CEO David Zaslav. AEW, which airs on both TNT and Max, is unlikely to be affected in the short term due to a TV deal running through 2027. Plans to offer AEW pay-per-views on Max in 2025 remains uncertain amid the restructuring. Yikes. Okay. Well, yeah, they've been just sucking things up forever. Does anybody remember the infamous Time Warner merger back in the late 90s that really shot WCW right in the foot? This was one of those things where Greg and I used to argue about this forever because no matter all the evidence put in his face, no matter how much it was proven that, no, WCW failed not because of bad booking. Like, you can always come back from bad booking. Even years of bad booking, you can come back from that. What killed WCW was the Time Warner merger. They got rid of anybody with a brain, and they didn't want wrestling anymore. So they killed it, and they sold the carcass to Vince McMahon. That's exactly what happened. But they didn't want to. Greg and I used to argue about that all the time because he said, no, WWF just outbooked them. They were better. And it's, sure, they outbooked them, but so what? A lot of companies with really bad booking have come back and survived, especially in today's world. They could have crawled through, but they didn't want to. They wanted to sell off wrestling because they didn't want that as part of their network, basically. I can't think of what it's called now, their repertoire. But they've since bought up more properties, more stations, more companies, and they've just gotten to this big ball of wibbly-wobbly bullcrap led by some of the dumbest people on earth, David Zaslav included. There we go. Anyway. And now they're selling off pieces parts as they should have been from the get-go. So, yeah, this has been a hell of a stream today, I'll tell you what. Anyway. Yeah, so they're finally now splitting up and realizing, oh, maybe we did the most and we shouldn't have done the most. Yeah, so luckily they're finally smartening up. Okay. Moving on. Got a couple of more stories here. AEW, this is combining AEW and knee issues. Brian Cage is recovering from 2 major surgeries, a knee replacement and a torn quad tendon repair, but is already back in the gym just 4 days after the latest procedure. Cage, who's dealt with chronic knee pain for years, decided to undergo the knee replacement while already sidelined with the quad injury, which he suffered during a March 20th match against Chris Masters. Is he going by Chris Masters again? Anyway. The injury forced a change to AEW's Dynasty event in April, where Cage and Lance Archer were originally set to compete. Despite the setbacks, Cage remains determined to return stronger, calling himself a machine. I mean, he is, and he's gigantic, freakishly gigantic. The Swolverine, baby. He's really good, but yeah, he's dealt with some injuries for a while, specifically knee stuff. Seems to be going around like the plague. But I want to see him back better than ever. I've always liked Brian Cage, so it sucks to see him down and out, but he's not staying down and out for long. Him and maybe he can join the ranks of John Cena, who is just a genetic freak. He never stays injured for long. And if he's injured, he recovers extremely quickly. So, good for him, man. Anyway. I've only got one more story here. It's somewhat outside of wrestling, but I figured I'd throw it in because it involves The Rock and an upcoming movie. MMA legend Mark Kerr was announced as the final entrant into this year's UFC Hall of Fame Pioneer Era class, with his induction set for June 26th during International Fight Week in Las Vegas. Fittingly, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who plays Kerr in an upcoming October biopic, The Smashing Machine, will attend the ceremony. Kerr, a 2-time UFC heavyweight tournament winner, joins fellow inductees Vitor Belfort, Robbie Lawler, Craig Piligian, and Amanda Nunez in this prestigious class. pretty cool. Cool to see The Rock there. I'm definitely going to watch The Smashing Machine. It's very different from anything The Rock has been in so far. He's at this point in his career now where he's definitely going for Oscar bait. The Smashing Machine will earn him some plaudits. And then he's in a Martin Scorsese film coming out where he plays an infamous gang leader or mafia leader, I should say, in Hawaii, and he's still alive. So, because somebody mentioned, they're like, "Oh, I bet he lives at the end," like, and somebody else was like, "Well, it's based on a real person, and the guy's still alive." So yes, he lives at the end of the film. Spoiler alert. But yeah, I'm definitely going to see The Smashing Machine. I really don't know anything about Mark Kerr. I did not watch old school UFC when it was like basically a freak show in the 90s, before the brothers, can't think of their names, the brothers who owned Zuffa, before they bought it and put Dana White in charge. Did not watch it back then. So but yeah, looks good. Anyway, that's all I've got for the news. We're about to get into AAA Worlds Collide right here. I'm just going to take a quick second. I will ask you all to follow me on social media and keep up with me on X and Instagram. It's at marks_on_media. On Facebook, it's Marks on Media Tube, if you want to keep up with me on there. I will say I'm most active on X. If you are on YouTube, follow me and click the notification bell to stay up to date every time I post brand new content every single day of the week. I'm active Monday through Fridays all the time, not so much Saturday and Sunday. And then on Rumble, there's 2 channels you can follow. One you can see on the screen right in this area. If you want the Marks on Media stuff, it's rumble.com/c/Marks on Media. Or if you want the archives for the main event Marks, it's rumble.com/c/main event Marks. All of the archives are on YouTube in video form. I'm transitioning them over to Rumble. I kind of put a pause on it for a little while because I've been doing new shows. Hi, kitty. Yeah, I got to get back on getting those archived shows up on Rumble. Rumble's been cool. Rumble's been growing. More wrestling content. More wrestling content needs to be up on Rumble, I'll say that. There aren't a lot of wrestling podcasters, wrestling commentators, anything like that on Rumble. It's definitely a YouTube and X and Instagram thing. You get it on Twitch sometimes too, and Kick. But the Rumble community needs to grow in different directions. It can't just be some conservative commentary channel, whatever. They're growing their gaming channels, which is cool. They got Dr. Disrespect and a few others streaming on there consistently, but we need to grow it in all different directions. Rumble is a great alternative. My camera's messing up on me. Sorry, froze. But as my one cat is attacking me, by the way. Whoop. What is going on, man? Oh, my God. Okay. F me. Jeez Louise. I hate this stupid camera. It's been crap since the day I got it. I wrap it up real nice and everything, and it still shorts out on me constantly. It's doing it right freaking now. Hate it. And I don't really want to invest in a new one right now because I only stream like once a week. Look at it. Stupid damn thing. As I'm asking people to follow. The non-live streams are a lot better than this as far as like technical quality. I don't go on camera a whole lot. I used to more than damn. Okay. All right, getting back to wrestling, hopefully. Can't keep this stupid thing happy, no matter what I do. All right, can you all hear me? Still experiencing camera difficulties. All right, maybe that'll do it. We'll see. Oh my God. Oh, I might just have to call it a freaking day with the camera, man. Yikes. All right. Maybe. Perhaps. All right. I just posted a new video. If anybody likes anime, I posted a top 5 most powerful Jujutsu Kaisen characters. Next week, I'm going to post one for top 10 most powerful Demon Slayer characters. Lots of info in both of those videos. I am cutting shorts for them as well, so you'll have those to look forward to. I post wrestling news mostly as shorts, so if you check those out, and I'm going to be combining some of them. I was going to do a video. I'm still planning on doing a video of like video game announcements that were made and over the weekend, because the Game Fest, Summer Game Fest just happened, and the June PlayStation State of Play. So I'm going to be hopefully posting something about that here soon if I can put the video together quickly. Otherwise, I mean, it's already kind of old news, but I wanted to talk about it. But yeah, let's get into AAA Worlds Collide 2025. Let's see. Okay, so either way, this happened June 7th, 2025, from the Kia Forum in Inglewood, California. Why the hell are they going to Inglewood? Ugh, I would not want to. I'll say that. Inglewood is not ideal in going to California. There's a reason why Inglewood appears, like the name appears in so many rap songs. It's not for positive reasons, I'll just say. But anyway, the attendance, I don't know. They have not announced the attendance for the show. It looked like a pretty small venue, but it was fine. Anyway, getting into the actual show at hand here. Sorry, I'm like multitasking while I'm talking. So an awesome hype video that showcases AAA's history opens the show, and Rey Mysterio narrates it in Spanish. I really like this video. I liked all the video packages they put together for this show, actually. We go to the commentary team of Corey Graves and Conan, which I mentioned earlier. Gabriel Iglesias is sitting behind them, by the way. Fluffy. The Spanish announce team sends us to the ring, where Shawn Michaels is standing with the president of AAA, Maricela Pena, she's had way too much plastic surgery. I'm sorry, but yikes. She's got like frozen face syndrome. Next to them are Triple H and Blue Demon Jr. A singer named Daira Barrera is dressed like a bullfighter, draped in the Mexican flag and wearing a sombrero. She sings the Mexican national anthem. And then Lillian Garcia sings the American national anthem. So, getting it all in there, all the Mexican-American pride and all that. And the cool thing about Lillian Garcia is she's bilingual, so she did all the announcements for the night in Spanish. But she could also do the announcements in English. So they only had to have one ring announcer for the whole show. If any of you are watching visually, I'm like fighting with my freaking cat. She won't get the hell off my damn desk. Doing what cats do. But Rey Mysterio comes out and hypes up the crowd, talking about what today means to him and to Lucha Libre. He does most of this in Spanish, but he does speak in English every once in a while to the crowd. They're in Inglewood, close to... Is that NorCal? Or is that close to LA? I'm honestly not positive. But either way, there's a healthy amount of Spanish-speaking individuals in the crowd, I'll say. All right. You're done. You're done biting me. Get out of the chair. Go. My God. I'm just having the worst freaking day. But the show opens up with, or the first match on the card, I should say, it's a trios match, which Lucha is famous for. It's Aerostar, Octagon Jr., and Mr. Iguana, who got some eyeballs on social media, I'll say. There are lots of charged opinions about him and his gimmick. They are taking on the two members of the LWO, Dragon Lee and Cruz del Toro, and Lince Dorado. I guess there was another member of the LWO that was supposed to be there, but he got hurt at the last minute. I forget. Oh, it was, Zema Ion there. I can't remember what his WWE name is. I forget off the top of my head. But anyway, yeah, he got hurt, so they replaced him with Lince Dorado at the last minute. But either way, it's 14 minutes, 10 seconds for this match. Uncle Dave's star ratings have not come out for this show yet, or for Money in the Bank, so I have been using cagematch.net, their star ratings, and I'm going to give mine as well. But this match was pretty good. Lots of high flying, but it wasn't over the top. Mr. Iguana's stupid stuffed iguana toy got used a couple of times here. He's got a name for it that I forget. Laesca, I think, is the name of the stupid iguana. But either way, Conan adds a lot to commentary, as I mentioned earlier. Every man got a chance to shine. Octagon Jr. wins with a backflip body slam off the middle rope to Lince Dorado. So the substitution ended up taking the pin. CageMatch.net gave this 3 3/4 stars. I gave it 3.5. It was entertaining. I had fun with it. It wasn't a fantastic match, but every guy got a chance to shine, so I did appreciate that. Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan are in the crowd. Dom grabs a mic after the match to tell Octagon that he sees Octagon is a big Rey Mysterio fan, but Rey's a deadbeat dad. He hurls some insults in Spanish before Octagon brings him over the railing. They brawl in the ring a bit before Dom takes a powder and tells Octagon that he'll see him at Money in the Bank tonight. And then he'll put the Intercontinental title on the line. So there you go. Big first day on WWE programming for Octagon Jr. Cool. His dad was a big legend. He is great in his own right. Could be a legend in the future. It looked as though like his dad was going to completely ruin his chances in WWE because he's an a-hole. But doesn't seem to be the case because he's still being booked, and hopefully WWE looks past that, and hopefully Octagon Jr. isn't a giant Richard himself, but we'll see. We get another history video of how AAA started in 1992 under Antonio Peña, where he broke away from CMLL to form his own company with a few big-name stars. Very reminiscent of Mitsuharu Misawa breaking away from, I want to say, All Japan in whatever year he did to form Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan with some big-name stars that were buddies of his. And it did well for a while, and then unfortunately he passed away, and the business tanked along with it. They're making a slight comeback now, but they'll never be what they once were with Misawa leading at the top of the cards. Either way, we get another history... Oh, never mind. I just read that part. Sorry, getting confused on my notes here. Some guy named Chuy Martinez is backstage. I don't know who this guy is. If anybody can help me out, please let me know. And send me a message, or if you're in chat, let me know who the hell this guy is in chat. I thought he was maybe a rapper or whatever, because they showed a couple of rappers and DJs and whatever in the crowd. One guy His name was like Mexican OT. I'm not even joking. They show him in the crowd, and they're like, oh, he worked with big artists like Paul Wall. And the guy looks like a Mexican Paul Wall. I was like, you don't say. But anyway, Chuy Martinez is backstage. He kind of looks like DJ Khaled a little bit. But he interviews Legado del Fantasma about their upcoming trios match. They say that they own Lucha Libre, and WWE is superior to AAA. Yeah, I mean, Fantasma there, or what's his name? Santos Escobar. He was treated well, as far as I know, in AAA as Io del Fantasma. But then he lost his mask, which they talk about, actually, to Psycho Clown, or in a match with Psycho Clown. And then he went to WWE, and Triple H clearly sees something in him. I like Legado del Fantasma. I wish they would push him a little bit more as a top heel, but I don't know. Either way, the women's champions of Io Sky and Tiffany Stratton are shown in the crowd for this next match, which is Stephanie Vaquer and Lola Vice taking on Dalys and Chic Tormenta. This goes for 9.5 minutes. Chic Tormenta, by the way, used to wrestle in a mask. She recently lost it to Lady Flama, I believe. They mentioned that during this, actually. But Vaquer was trained by Dalys, so this is kind of a big deal for them to meet. During the match, Dalys' husband, Negro Casas, is in the crowd. He's a lucha legend, was not a... I mean, he was a luchador in the sense of, like, his style, but he was not a mask-wearing luchador ever. I can't remember if he made appearances in WCW. I want to say yes. He would have been old at that point, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But I know I've seen him around. Either way, Lola got some shine, but she was the heater for the team. She took most of the punishment. Lola and Stephanie both hit the Devil's Kiss on their opponents at the same time. Stephanie finally finishes off Dalys with the SVB for the win. CageMatch.net gave it 2.5 stars. I actually gave it 3 stars. I rated it higher than them for once. I enjoyed this match. I thought it was everything it needed to be. It didn't go too long. 9.5 minutes was good. Got in everything you needed to get in that time period. I enjoyed it. After the match, a woman named Vero Rodriguez interviews Stephanie and Lola. It was all in Spanish, so I couldn't understand anything that they were saying, except for Vaquer said that tonight she would become Miss Money in the Bank. Backstage, Chuy Martinez is there again, interviewing Chad Gable, bringing up the bad things that he said about Lucha. Chad claims that luchadors hate him, but Mexico loves him, and they're embracing him and also El Grande Americano. You gotta say El Grande. You notice I've been like kind of putting some respect on some names. You know, saying it with a Spanish accent, whatever. I'm not gonna do that for El Grande Americano. You gotta say it kind of like Hank Hill. El Grande Americano, because he's about as white as the freshly driven snow, and that makes it funnier, in my opinion. Either way, now we get a promo to hype up Legado del Fantasma. Again, I love this group. I have from day one. Chavo Guerrero and the Street Profits are in the crowd for the next match. Chavo Guerrero literally gets a pop because of his last name. Because his dad was a big deal in Mexico, because his uncle is a legend, because his grandpa was like a pioneer. That's why, not because of anything he's done. Anyway, the next match is another trios match. It is Legado del Fantasma, the team of Santos Escobar, Berto, and Angel versus El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown. This goes for 15 minutes. So all of these guys, except for Pagano, are great. Pagano kind of sucks. I knew this, and I kind of forgot it for a while. He's not good, and even Conan kind of sets you up for it at the beginning of the match. He's like, look, he's more of a hardcore guy, all right? He's not really, you're not going to see anything good out of him. And by God, he was right. We didn't see anything good out of Pagano. He kind of sucks, to be honest with you. I've seen worse, but he's not good. Legado del Fantasma had great chemistry. Wagner and Psycho Clown did some cool moves. It was a mess of things going on all over the place. There were a lot of near falls. Santos Escobar and El Io del Dr. Wagner Jr. went one-on-one for a little while in the ring, and in the end, Santos wins with a Phantom Driver into a pin. CageMatch.net gave this 3.25 stars. I gave it trace. So 3 stars from me, even. I would have rated it higher, but like I said, it was just a mess all over the place. Chaos everywhere. But it was fun. It was very fun. Legado del Fantasma, like, they have great chemistry as a team. They work well together. I enjoy seeing them every time. Psycho Clown and Pagano have been, I guess they're a team now, just because Pagano looks like a clown. Okay. For those that don't know, Psycho Clown is actually a big star in Mexico. He's taken some masks. He's, meaning he's won some lucha de apuestas, quite a few, and I believe he's a former mega champion, and I mean, he's headlined some big shows. You wouldn't know it to, you're like, Psycho Clown, really? But yeah, I noticed they all have friendly music where they're not like copyright friendly music. They all have on the show, so they're not, a lot of the AAA talents are not using their typical themes. Because I can't remember. He comes out to like a circus music, but I can't remember. It's like a classic rock song with circus music in it, but I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, either way, he's a big star. My favorite in the match on their side, though, I've never really liked Psycho Clown, but he is good, is El Io del Dr. Wagner Jr. Dr. Wagner Jr. was one of my favorite luchadors of all time, or is. He's retired now. But his son, I think, is also really good, and he's got potential. I think he needs to tone up a little bit, but he could also be a big star for WWE, whether he stays in AAA or he goes up to the WWE roster. I think he could do big things. And I think Santos Escobar is a star, in my opinion. Either way, moving on. We are now shown a highlight video with some talking head interviews of When Worlds Collide in 1994, which I reviewed last week. Vero Rodriguez is backstage interviewing El Io del Vikingo in Spanish. All I got out of it is that Vikingo is going to fly. Cool. That's not really a shocker, breaking news. Damian Priest and Savio Vega are together in the crowd representing the Dominican Republic. Puerto Rico. God, not Dominican Republic. Racism. They're representing Puerto Rico. God. Forget I said that. They then show... they have the same colored flags, okay? So, same as America, but they are definitely Puerto Rican. They then show Blue Demon Jr. in the crowd. They still refuse to put Junior on WWE graphics, so they announced him as Blue Demon Jr., and on the graphic it just said Blue Demon. So you're like, is that his dad or is that him? It's definitely Junior. His dad, I believe, has passed away. But then we get this. It's my match of the night. And these last two matches are amazing, by the way. But this is my match of the night. It is a fatal four-way for the NXT North American title. It's all ego Ethan Page defending the title against Javon Evans, Laredo Kid, and Rey Fenix. It goes just shy of 15 minutes. I enjoyed the hell out of this match. Yes, there was a ton of chaos all over the place and tons of flipping and high-flying, but it was all really good. I don't think it was like too over the top or anything. In the end, Evans hits a top rope cutter to Laredo Kid, a la Cody Rhodes. Page then tosses Evans out of the ring, hits another jumping cutter on Laredo Kid, and gets a pinfall win to retain his title. CageMatch.net and I both gave this 4 stars. Quattro. It was really damn good. If you had to catch one match of the night, I would say this would be it. You could argue the main event would be it, but both of these final 2 matches on the show were fantastic. A video is now shown telling fans that AAA's Triple Mania show is their equivalent to WWE's WrestleMania. They run down a quick history of the event with talking head interviews. I'll be reviewing Triple Mania after it airs. Maybe I might end up doing it next week. I didn't realize that Triple Mania was this weekend, so I may have to push back my plans for next week's show, which is fine. I'm okay with all of that, but I do want to watch this year's Triple Mania. The play-up package for the main event is actually fantastic and got me super hyped for the match. Gabriel Iglesias is shown in the crowd before the entrances. They give him an introduction, and oh my god, it's Fluffy, and yeah, all that stuff. But the main event is El Hijo del Vikingo defending the AAA Mega Championship against Chad Gable. This one goes for 22 minutes. These two have an absolutely excellent match. I have never seen El Hijo del Vikingo have a match in this style. I've seen him do stuff in AEW, but this is great. It was fantastic from start to finish. I didn't truly believe that they would have Chad Gable win, but after WWE had won literally every match of the night up until now, and with Gable's current gimmick going on, I had a little bit of doubt. I was like, they might do this, son of a bee. But Vikingo dives off the corner post with a Mexican destroyer on the apron, but that doesn't put Gable down. Next, Gable puts Vikingo through a table outside with a moonsault. They both roll into the ring at the count of 9. Little bit of no selling there out of these guys, but, whatever. In the end, Vikingo hits Trouble in Paradise, followed up by a diving Poison Rana, then running knees in the corner, and then finally a 630 splash to pin Chad Gable and retain his title. CageMatch.net gave it 4.5 stars. I gave it an even 4. 2 matches in a row, I gave Quattro stars to. But the crowd was on their feet for all of this, and they hit the roof for El Hijo del Vikingo. He's a huge star in AAA. And WWE may want him to be their hood ornament again. I didn't realize he held that belt for, ever. Because he talked about, last time I was champion, I was champion for 800 and some days. He had a Roman Reigns style freaking run with the Mega Championship. Crazy. But either way, the AAA and NXT baby faces and the AAA legends now get in the ring, hoist up Vikingo on their shoulders, and pose for the camera to close the show. I thought I put in my notes, Latin Lover was in the crowd. So was Masquerita Dorada, who were at the original When Worlds Collide in 1994. And they got in the ring here at the end to hoist up the Mega Champion Vikingo. So final ratings time. Internet Movie Database gave this 7.7 out of 10. CageMatch.net gave it 8.08 out of 10. And I gave it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a very good show. Great showing. If this was your first introduction to Lucha, I dare say you will be back. It was a great introduction, in my opinion. But now we move on. Moving on to Money in the Bank. I'll try to get through this because we've been streaming for a while now. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Before we get into this, I do want to ask, if you are watching on YouTube, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, click the notification bell, all that good stuff. Today's stream has been a little rough at times. I cannot promise I will not get any more very important phone calls regarding work before I finish up the show, but I sure as hell hope not. I guess we'll see how it goes. But please please, subscribe. Most shows are not this rough, to be honest with you. I also had an issue with my camera a little earlier. It just anything that could go wrong today, cats, camera, phone, you name it. And the fact that I forgot there were 2 Stream Now buttons that I had to hit, and I only hit 1, so that was a rough start as well. But thanks for sticking with me, y'all, or tuning in for the first time, watching the VOD. But follow. I will post new content each and every day, Monday through Friday, so you have that to look forward to. If you are on Rumble, please follow the channel. I am normally on, when I stream for the Main Event Marks, I'm on rumble.com/C/main event marks. When I stream, or when I do anything, post videos for Marks on Media, which is my normal thing, it's rumble.com/C/Marks on Media. I don't really stream live for Marks on Media anymore. I just do it for the wrestling podcast. So I think it's been working out well. I've been cutting that up and posting it. You can also, if you're listening to the audio and you want to see the video, you can do that as well. This will be available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever the hell you get podcasts. It will be up there by tonight. I always do that the day that I stream, but I go live first. And it will be kind of condensed and cut down and edited a little better than on video form. So if you want to check that out, subscribe to that, follow the channel. Also, I'm on all social media platforms: X, Instagram, Facebook. X and Instagram is @marks_on_media. Facebook is facebook.com/marksonmediatube. I am most active on X, so if you want to talk to me directly, that's the best place to do it, or comment on one of my videos. I will interact with you on there. But anyway, getting into WWE Money in the Bank 2025 took place June 7th, 2025, from the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California. 17,069 giggity was the total attendance. The tagline was, "The last time is now." So, this, just to start off, this arena was awful for wrestling. All right, it looked empty. I don't know what it was with the lights. There were lights on each chair. I think they're on like the armrests or whatever. And I'm sure they think it looks cool because you can change the color of them. They were green most of the night for money, But for some reason, it does it's like an illusion in the camera where it makes the crowd look non-existent. It just looks like an empty effing arena. I actually asked my friend, I was like, dude, is that arena like practically empty? And then you see like from different angles, it's like, oh no, there are people there. I don't know what it was. I'm not the only one that thought this, by the way. I've seen other people. Shout out to the Apron Bump podcast. Kyle from Apron Bump there. He said the same thing. He said it's an awful arena for wrestling, just like mostly because of the lights. But it's also just set up kind of weird. I don't know. Plus, Inglewood is just disgusting. So I don't know why you'd want to hold a show there. But we start off the show with introducing the commentary team of Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, and Wade Barrett. Then we get right into the first match. It is the women's Money in the Bank ladder match that went 25 minutes, 15 seconds. It is between Roxanne Perez, Alexa Bliss, Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, Rhea Ripley, and Naomi. So, the one who I did not call at all won. But, I'll get to it at the end of the match. But we start off with the 3 newcomers facing off against the 3 veterans. Stephanie got to rest for about 10 minutes at one point outside of the ring. I'm exaggerating, but she was out there for a while. But she's been putting in that work, son, I'll tell you. After Naomi shoves Alexa and Rhea off the ladder, she climbs up and retrieves the briefcase to win. CageMatch.net gave this 3 1/4 stars. I gave it 3 even. It was fine. It was a decent match. The winner was a shock to me. I never would have called Naomi. I was really shocked by that. But they have been building her up as a top heel. She's had an interesting run as of late, and I don't have a problem with this. She is, to me, what I was actually talking to my buddy that I watched this event with. She is to the women, in my opinion, what Sheamus is to the men. Where she has low-key had a legendary career. She has low-key done everything, and she doesn't get talked about enough. Like Sheamus. Sheamus has done everything. Royal Rumble, King of the Ring, big-time WrestleMania matches. He's held every title except the IC, as far as I know. He has just, and multiple times, multiple versions of the world title. He is a beast, and he doesn't get talked about as one of the GOATs. But and he always delivers. When he says that line about he's always having a banger after banger after banger, it's true. Same with Naomi. I can't remember a single bad match from Naomi. So even when she's in the ring with inferior opponents, she does great. She always does the most. And yeah, she had her time away for a little bit. She didn't quite pull a she left with Mercedes Moné, but then, she went to TNA for a little bit, had a tiny bit of a run there, but then came right back home. And she's doing great. So good for her. Either way, next match. It is Dominic Mysterio with Liv Morgan defending the Intercontinental title against Octagon Jr. This went just shy of 5 minutes. I didn't realize it was so short, by the way. It just, I knew it wasn't like a long match, but watching it, I felt like it went longer than that. But Dominic I didn't realize his shirt is like the old Latino Heat shirt, but it's Latino Cheat, which, that popped me. I like it. I kind of want that shirt. Octagon looked great in this match, by the way. His pants were hella sparkly. I noticed that. Like, it's just shimmering like a freaking disco ball in that ring. But Dominic wins off of a frog splash. I'd honestly love to see Octagon versus Penta in the future. I'm sure it's happened outside of WWE before many times, but I want to see it in a WWE ring. But good stuff here. CageMatch.net and I both gave it 2.5 stars for average. If it was longer, I would have given it a higher rating, but it is what it is. This match, like, the IWC has talked about, they buried Octagon Jr. his first day in the company. What the F are you talking about, man? Like, he had a great showing in his, like, he won his match at When Worlds Collide. He had a great showing there as well. He got an Intercontinental title on one of the biggest events of the year the same day. And he lost to Dominic Mysterio, but he's also like one of the top heels in WWE right now. He is like trying to bring a legacy to the Intercontinental title and everything. Like, Dom is well established in WWE by this point, and they had a really good match. It's not like Dom just whooped his ass and beat him. Like, give me a break. This was good. This was a good first showing and an introduction. They were literally introducing Octagon Jr. to a wide crowd, and they let him show what he could do for 5 minutes. And, that was it. The internet wrestling community really needs to know, like, they need to learn what the word buried means. But now we move on to the last chance match for the Women's Intercontinental title. This one I have some opinions on, and I'll get to them after the match. But it is Lyra Valkyria defending against Becky Lynch. So the last chance thing, the stipulation of the match is that if Becky lost, she could never challenge for the Intercontinental title as long as Lyra was the champ. And if Lyra lost, she had to hold up the arm of Becky in celebration. Or, like, whatever. I'm replying to a text. Sorry, my wife is blowing me up. Anyway, but that's the stipulation of this one. It went just shy of 15 and a half minutes. What the hell is Becky Lynch wearing, was my first note. She looks like she's going to get into a street fight. This was an odd choice of outfits. Like, odder than usual, I'll say. A manhandle slam off the middle rope doesn't end Lyra. Becky hits another manhandle slam outside, but we can't get Lyra in, but she can't get Lyra into the ring to pin her. Lyra ends up hitting Nightwing outside, and both women get in at the count of 9. After trading cradle pins for a little while, Becky holds the tights, kinda, of Lyra for the win. Cage match gave this 4 stars. I gave it 3.5. I thought it was fine. I used to be a big Becky fan, not so much in the last couple of years. I am just kind of tired of her. Tired of constant, like the same thing over and over, constant winning, and I don't know. I'm really over Becky Lynch at this point. Like, she's done it all, and she's doing it again, and I don't see a point in this. Like, what was the point of, you give Lyra this belt for a bit, you're trying to build her up, and then Becky just, like, craps on her. I'm like, yeah, I know I just said the IWC needs to learn the difference between losing and being buried, but this is right on that border. You know what I mean? Yes, they had a great match, but, like, man, Becky's just beating her ass at every turn. And I don't see the point in this at all. Why does Becky need the Intercontinental title? She doesn't. This is, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But after the match, Becky makes Lyra hold up her hand. Lyra goes to leave. Then she tells her to hold up her hand for all 4 sides of the ring. And then she goes to leave again, but Becky tells her, no, you need to put the belt on me. So Lyra puts the belt on her, and then she German suplexes the piss out of her and then hits the Nightwing and leaves. So are we going to get another match between these two? Like, they have great matches together, but my God. Like, just, can we move on, please? But now, we get the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. It goes about 33 and a half minutes. It is Seth Rollins with Paul Heyman taking on Andrade, El Grande Americano, LA Knight, Penta, and Solo Sikoa. Andrade eats a ladder to the nards by accident. El Grande drops the ladder, and it just drops right on his package. Sucks, man. But Solo and Seth have a back and forth. I have a great back and forth there for a while. Penta and Andrade have an encounter that leaves us wanting more in the future. I really would like to see them go one-on-one in a WWE ring. Americano gets his back sliced open at one point. Not like horrible, but it's bleeding. He pulls a Terry Funk with the Fireball ladder. If people haven't seen the Fireball ladder, they literally put advertisements for Fireball whiskey on the side of this ladder. It's crazy. But he puts it on his head, and he swings it around and hits people with it, a la Terry Funk. On top of the ladder, Penta shoves Rollins off. Americano rides a ladder up there and then headbutts Penta off with his loaded mask. Then L.A. Knight, side suplexes him off. Everyone's down. After everyone brawls on the ladder, Rollins calls out Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, who destroy everyone before Jacob Fatu and JC Mateo come out. JC Mateo is an interesting name for Jeff Cobb. I mean, Jeff Cobb isn't a great name, but JC Mateo? Okay. Anyway, Breaker spears Mateo through the barricade, but Fatu destroys Reed. He helps Solo set up a ladder and climb up, but then stops him from getting the briefcase. The crowd chants for Fatu before he tells Solo, "I hate you!" And then he pulls Solo down and super kicks him. Then he hits a triple jump moonsault on him and finishes him off with a Sambo suplex off the apron through a ladder. It was crazy. But Jacob Fatu is a beast. the Samoan Werewolf is fantastic. Love me some Jacob Fatu. He's great. Anyway, Rollins now sets up a ladder, another fireball ladder, and he brawls with LA Knight for a bit before curb stomping him, and then he climbs up and gets the damn briefcase. Yay. So, yet again, Seth and Becky walking out, beating everybody to a pulp. I am so over Seth Rollins, too. Like, yeah, this gimmick, like, his little group is interesting and everything, but nah, dude, why are you Mr. Money in the Bank again? Like, what's the point of this? Why? Who cares? Does anybody care that Seth Rollins is Mr. Money in the Bank? Seriously, I want to know. Because I've seen more negative I haven't seen a single positive reaction to it. Not one. And I know he's a heel, and that's kind of the point. You're not supposed to like it, but ugh, man, it's terrible. But they finally announced, by the way, that WrestleMania 42 will indeed be at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas again on April 18th and 19th. So, yay, we're going back to Vegas, everybody. Cool. Why? Don't know. They still have not explained why they scrapped the idea of going to New Orleans. They probably never will explain it, but whatever. But now Cody Rhodes, it's the main event time, by the way, everybody. We're here at the main event. It is Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus John Cena and Logan Paul. This goes for 23 minutes, 45 seconds. Oh, did I say what star ratings were for the last match? I don't believe I did. So, CageMatch.net gave it 3 3/4 stars. They gave it 3.5. I did think it was a decent ladder match. Some cool spots, storyline stuff. Overall, I enjoyed the quality of the match. I didn't like the winner. 3.5, but I feel like that's fair. But getting back to the main event here, Jey and Cody color coordinated. They're all, both wearing red, white, and blue. Logan and Cena argue and fight for a bit, and then it's miscommunication from that point on with them. Logan Paul hits an Asai moonsault on Jey through a commentary table. When the ref is distracted by that, Cena hits Cody with the WWE title. He's then speared by a masked man wearing all black. The man takes off his mask to reveal that it's R-Truth, who we talked about in the news. He hits Cena with the WWE title and then leaves. Cody hits a crossroads on Cena and gets the win. CageMatch.net gave it 2 3/4 stars. I gave it 3 stars even. Right after the match, we closed the show. R-Truth on Monday Night Raw chopped his dreadlocks off and said that he is Ron the Truth Killings now. He's no longer R-Truth. And this is seemingly what everybody wanted. They're like, we don't want him fired. Also, the goofy R-Truth stuff has kind of run its course, like Ron Killings is a former NWA World Champion in TNA. He's done great stuff. He is great on the mic when you actually let him be a non-goofy ass heel and you unleash him. He's good. He's entertaining. And I'd like to see more of it. And it seems to be that's the way they're going. So cool. And congratulations to him for coming back, and he's being positioned in a top spot. So good for R-Truth, Ron Killings, whatever you want to call him. Final ratings time. Internet Movie Database gave this 7.1 out of 10. CageMatch.net did not like the show so much. They gave it 6.31 out of 10. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed the show. I don't know. I always enjoy Money in the Bank. Well, I usually enjoy Money in the Bank. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm grading on a curve. I don't know. But all in all, I thought it was fine. 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it. Would watch. I wouldn't watch it again because I usually don't watch these back. But I enjoyed what I saw of it. So, sticking with that. But let me know what you guys think of Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank in the comments, and or send me a message on social media and all that. Yet again, if you want to follow me on X and Instagram, it's at marks_on_media. Facebook is facebook.com/marksonmediatube. I am on YouTube. If you're not watching me on there, it's at Marks on Media on YouTube. And on Rumble, you can either see the main event Marks at rumble.com/C/Marks, main event Marks, or rumble.com/C/Marks on Media. The podcast is available wherever you get your favorite podcasts. It's syndicated all over the damn place, so you can check that out there. I am most active on X and in my YouTube and Rumble comments, so hit me up if you want to. Tell me if you want to see a certain review, if you want to see certain content from this channel. Let me know. I appreciate all the feedback and all of that. I apologize again for the technical difficulties a couple of times today. It has been an interesting stream, I'll just say. It's not normally this bad. I promise. Please come back next week. Next week, I will review Triple Mania, the new one from this weekend. Triple Mania Regia. I will review that in full and talk about the news and all that good stuff. It'll be a shorter stream because I'm only reviewing the one single show now instead of multiple shows plus the news. And then the week after that, there's not an ongoing pay-per-view that I'm going to review. So I actually wanted to talk about the new movie Queen of the Ring. I'm going to review that as well as the latest season, the entire season of Dark Side of the Ring. I'm going to talk about each and every episode. I can cover one episode in like 2 to 3 minutes. So there are some episodes that deserve more time than others. Some of them are just like, man, some crappy things happened and then the person died young, like Vader's story. I mean, it's unfortunate. There were some dark spots, but it wasn't like a typical Dark Side of the Ring episode. There were some that was like, it was dark because, wow, this guy was a real a-hole, and and then he died. So, and again, that sucks as well. But we'll talk about all that in a couple of weeks. So the next 2 weeks are set. Next week, though, I'm probably going live on Tuesday because I'm actually going out of town next week. So I'm not going to be home Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. And then I've got plans on Saturday. So I'm going to stream live next Tuesday, a day early instead of a day late. So check out all of that. I'll post reminders and all that good stuff. But yeah, thank you all for joining me today and sitting through all of that. I hope you all enjoyed yourself. Come back next week and follow the channel and all that. And next week, I will see you for AAA Triple Mania Regia. Later.